What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're looking at the Tybelt. The website is www.tybelt.fr. It is a product coming to us from France, and the company that makes this is BBM Equipment. And essentially what you got is a belt that you can use for everyday use. You can use it in outdoor adventures, different things, camping, hiking. The cool thing about it is that it's not just a belt, it is also made of rock climbing webbing material, and it's extremely strong. Now when I say that, there's lots of cautions and precautions we'll have to talk about, and lots of information that actually comes with the Tybelt to let you know how to use it and how not to use it. But let's get into the details. We'll show you what it looks like on me, and then we'll actually show you some of the different ways you could set it up. Here's a close-up of the belt. You can see Tybelt there, and then BBM Equipment underneath. I got mine in large. Triple stitching there. You probably recognize these metal clasps or buckles. This is what you're going to use in a lot of rock climbing harnesses. And then there's your whole belt. And at the other end, I'll show you this, triple stitched again, and a loop. And we'll show you what this looks like to actually run a carabiner through this in a minute. But this can fit through those two clasps, obviously, to just function as an everyday belt. Here's a look at the belt when it's on. Very simple. And I'll show you how to actually run it through these clasps here, the metal clasps. So you're going to slide it through both, and then back through one, and then pull it like so, and you're all set. So you can see here I've set it up in the way they recommend, not through the metal, but through the loop and through the other loop. I'm going to hang on this and show you how it holds up, and I'm weighing in at about between 215 and 220 right now. All right, here we go. So you can see it's definitely holding me. No problem whatsoever. All right, now what I'm going to do is not put my feet on the tree. I'm just going to put my full weight on this, see if I can rig myself up some way so my full weight is resting on the Tybelt. If I can do this here. We'll do it like this. Alright, ready? So there you go. Fully resting on the Tybelt. Hold on to the tree now. Fully on. Yeah, it's gonna hold, that's for sure. One more time here. It works. Back here in the studio now, we're going to talk through some of the different ways you could set the Tybelt up. One of the ways you can use it is just basically like using it as a belt, but without it being on you, and so it makes essentially a sling or a loop. So they actually have all the specs in the paperwork here, so you can see how far they want you to pull this through. You certainly don't want to have it set up like this. You just have a tiny little tab here, and then put or suspend all your weight on this, hanging off a cliff. You're gonna want to make sure that's very safe, and then you've got a lot of webbing here. Now they actually say on their paperwork here, you want this tab to be 30 inches long. Now if you do that, essentially this is the loop that you have. It's about that big. So that gives you a lot of safety that this thing is not going to come flying back through and get loosened up. So that's one way you can use it. Let me undo this real quick. Another way you can use it is how I've had it before, and run a carabiner through this loop, and then through this loop. And so now you've got this set up, like so, and obviously you're going to want to lock this carabiner down. They do have some cautions. You never want to run a carabiner through here. They've actually, on the paperwork on the back here, have all the different ways. Hey, don't run it this way. So that's just stuff to be aware of. You don't want to use the metal buckle is one of the main things they're talking about there. So that's another possible setup. And of course with all these, you got to double check all the the weight, the strength, the actual setup to make sure that you have the proper amount of webbing that's running through the left over after you run it through the tabs, all the different details and stuff. So that all comes with the Tybelt, so you can read along. And they talk about, when you do it a certain way, it measures up to certain standards that are set as far as, let me read the official thing here. European Standard EN 566 as established in March 2007. So pull the webbing a minimum of 30 inches after the buckles. In this configuration, the sling meets the requirements of European Standard EN 566. So, there's certain ways you can do it, and you got to check the paperwork on that. One thing I did want to show you, let me just pull this up on my phone here. is that this is the Tybelt picture, and on the Amazon page, they show different things. Like they show, you know, kind of like a rappelling thing. They show somebody like hauling a big 2x4 in this little picture. They show a guy using the Tybelt to strap a skateboard to the back of his backpack. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can use this thing. Essentially, it's very, very durable, very, very durable webbing. And so, yeah, just, you know, a cool setup. You can wear it as just an everyday belt, but then it offers you a bunch of other options. Here's a look at that photo I was just talking about. So there's the guy, you know, carrying the using the Tybelt to carry a skateboard. Then here's some pictures of, like, here's a guy, you know, rappelling. Here's a guy, you know, doing something hanging off a cliff, it looks like. Here's one of a guy, you know, hauling a 2x4, and then it's just a picture of the Tybelt. Now on the Amazon site, this is the extra large black one on the Amazon site I'm looking at, and it's $82.80. So definitely expensive, you know, but if you're out doing a lot of adventuring and things where you'd want this type of heavy duty equipment, this is something you should consider looking into probably. Overall, really cool belt. I love the concept, you know, that you have a belt that you can just wear for everyday use, but also that it can be, you know, an adventurer's belt, if you will. It's kind of like a rigger's belt, you know, a high-test rigger's belt that the military or law enforcement would use. It's not as big and bulky, though, which is a nice thing, so it's lighter weight. And again, you want to check a million times over to make sure you're using it as the regulations and the recommendations require. You know, don't make any dumb choices when you're using this thing, but if you use it properly, it becomes a great resource and a great tool to you. So yeah, check it out. It's the Tybelt, made by BBM Equipment, and I'll put a link down below with all the information if you want to get a hold of one of these. Thanks as always for checking out our reviews here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. Take care.